on guys, it's me Lexi. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to give you guys all of the tips and tricks you will need to have a successful semester this school year. I know a lot of you guys out there watching my channel are students going to college, or you might even be starting high school, and I took the time to basically get all of my best tips from my personal experience and share them with you guys so that you can have a successful school year. You guys know it's back to school season. We all going back to school. I am starting my third year in college. I am majoring in communication with a concentration in film and TV. Also, I'm a little bit qualified to just give you some tips. So the first thing I have to say is freshman year is by far the best year. You are not gonna have as much fun as you will freshman year. I don't even know if that goes for high school as much, but that definitely goes for college. No year is gonna hit like your freshman year will. You just left home, you just left all your family, you're going to stay on campus. There's no more rules. You can be who you want to be now. Although freshman year is going to be the funnest year, it is also going to be the most difficult academically to keep up with, because you're meeting new friends, you're meeting new people, you want to go here, you want to go there, but you also have all this homework, and it's not like high school homework where, you know, it's just this easy old homework. No, you actually have to like write papers and discussions and all of this academic stuff. It can be hard to keep up with your school priorities freshman year, but try to keep a good balance because it's good to have friends, okay? Making friends is good. You don't want to be like me and you just kind of don't really have any friends and you're 3 years in college, but hey, I'm chilling. You can't be like me. Make sure that before day one of classes, you are prepared, you are organized, you have your classes printed out. I recommend not only printing it out on paper, but also having a digital copy, because I've just been in so many situations where I didn't know exactly where my class was and it's just taking forever to find it through my phone. And I could easily just have like a nice cutout paper in like the front of my binder. So be prepared. Also, print that syllabus. I know you don't think it's necessary, but it is. Print the syllabus. The syllabus will help you stay on track. It gives you every assignment that is due. Well, in most cases, I don't know what y'all teachers be doing. In college, when you get a syllabus for the class, you pretty much get an idea of every single assignment that you'll have for the school year, when it will be due, and the most important part probably is the grading scale for whatever class you're in. As you can see, my syllabus is nicely in this binder. It's in the back of the binder, but it's the binder. Y'all see this? Method of evaluation. This is basically how and what they will grade you on based on whatever class you're taking. So as you can see, 30% of my final grade for this specific class is weekly discussions. That means I better lock in on weekly discussions because that's 30% of my grade. That's a lot. This specific class is a completely online course, so it's not like participation is on there or anything. It's all online. So basically, discussions being 30%, you better do the discussions. Having an idea on which portion of the class is going to be the most of your grade is important, because yes, there will be those days where you're like, can I afford to skip class? But then if it's a day where, you know, you have a weekly discussion due, you can't, because that's worth 30% of your grade, and that's a lot. A very important part of my success is having a designated workspace, because I am not the type of human being that can just crack out a laptop any old place in the back of somebody's car or at a restaurant, or literally people in college, y'all. College students take their homework all over the place and they can do their homework anywhere, and I'm not that kind of a student. I have to sit down at my designated workspace or at the library, at a cafe, somewhere where I understand that I'm coming here to just do my homework, because I will be so distracted by everything and anything around me, and that's not good. For me, it's always been important to separate my work activities from my just leisure, having fun, all that kind of stuff. I have to keep it separate, because when I had my desk space in my office, when I had my office space in my bedroom, I would just not do my homework at my desk, and I would just get in the bed because it's like 10 times more comfy. So for me, keeping that separate is very, very important. So don't be like me. Actually get up and go have a designated workspace. Even if you don't have like a desk or a office space or anything like that, go downstairs to the kitchen counter. The kitchen counter will never fail you, because somebody's going to walk by in the kitchen and they can help take accountability for you and make sure you're actually getting your homework done. At least that's how it was in my house. Like every time I was doing homework on the kitchen counter, my mom or my dad was just, oh, good job, you're doing your homework, and they can see that I'm a good student, okay, period. Probably the most important part of your upcoming school year this year is to prioritize your mental health. You guys know how it is when you're going through things and you still have homework due, there's still assignments, there's still every other thing in the world you have to worry about, while you might be a little depressed about something, or maybe you're just a little anxious like me. So make sure your mental health is a priority, because if your mental health is in order, then you can ensure that your school and all that other stuff can go according to plan. Because trust me, freshman year is just so different. You're away from home, you're in a whole new place, you don't have no rules, the food tastes like garbage, and you don't have your family, you don't have your people with you that's just there to be a shoulder to cry on, or just to go hang out with your sister in the room across the hall. Like, that's gone. So it could be different for everyone. For me personally, it did take a toll on my mental health. I cried like the second or third day of staying in my dorm room away from home because I was scared. Not I was scared, no. What was I? Was I scared? Yeah, I was scared. I was just nervous. Like, I was on my own. Like, this was such an adjustment period for me. So make sure you make your mental health a priority. An excellent resource to help you do that is BetterHelp. So thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. If you guys didn't know, BetterHelp's main goal is to make therapy more affordable and available for you. BetterHelp is a platform that helps you find a therapist that you actually like. It's online, it's remote for my girlies that don't like to leave the house. And by answering a few questions, you could be matched with a therapist in just a few days. So easy. And you can prioritize your mental health, girl. By clicking on the link in my description box, you can get a 10% discount on your first month of BetterHelp. I highly recommend you guys click the link in my description box now, because it's August, it's the beginning of the school year, and now is the perfect time to get ahead of your mental health. So go ahead and click the link, try connecting with a therapist, and see if it helps you at all. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this portion of the video. So even though we want our mind in order, we also need the rest of our academics to be in order, and that means we have to be organized. So I recommend you get a planner. Me personally, I don't go back into my planner after that first week. Planners last for me 1 week. So instead, I just pick out a really cute notebook, something that's cute and aesthetic that I actually like. And I write down all of my exam due dates, my homework due dates, and I can just keep track of it all in my notebook. For me, that is so much easier than trying to write in the little box that they give you on the little calendar. I can't do that. So for me, it just works better that my planner is a regular empty notebook. But definitely have a planner or some kind of way that you can keep track of your homework and your due dates. Also, make sure that you're checking at the beginning of every week. Check for what homework you have for the upcoming week. Like, check your syllabus, check your D2L or your online portal. Yeah. Not every time will the syllabus match exactly with the dates you have for your course, you know what I'm saying? So just make sure on Sunday or at the beginning of the week, you check all your courses and make sure you have everything written down that might be due. When it comes to planners and organizers, they have so many different kinds. There's so many formats, colors, options. You can create your own planner. You can do like a, what's it called? A bullet journal and make your own, make it all fancy. Or you can do something more digital and keep it all on your notes app or on Notion. I love Notion. Notion is just a great app for keeping my whole life together, academically and not academically. So having a clear plan and knowing what's coming up is so important to prevent procrastination, because I know something that we all do is procrastinate, and I'm so bad at that. So even though all the academic sides of college is important and that is all like necessary, it's also important to make sure you're keeping a connection with the people that you love. If you moved out of your house or out of state, make sure you always like call or FaceTime, just be in connection with those people who you love, because that's just really important to know that you still have a support system even though you're away from home. You're gonna need that. And also, if you're anything like me and you need like an accountability partner, which is my mother, or just somebody in your life to keep you accountable that actually knows who you are. I mean, like, truly knows who you are, knows that if you say you're gonna do your homework, you might not actually do it, and there's a 50% chance that it won't get done. Somebody who knows you on that level to really keep you accountable, and they can just, you know, check in with you and say, hey girl, are you doing your assignment that you told me to make sure you told me to tell you to do your homework, so is it done? That person for me is definitely my mom, and I don't know, now that I moved out, it's like, it's so chill now. Like, I used to not want that person to be my mom, but now I love that it's my mom, because she's always calling, she's always checking in, like making sure I did my homework. Obviously, like, your planner is not gonna like talk to you and just get up and say, hey girl, do your homework, but your mom might, so hit her up. I'm telling you right now, those assignments that you're skipping, they're gonna build up, and when you get to the end of the school year, you're gonna fail the class. Trust me. Okay. All right, now we gotta get into the nitty gritty, okay? Because college it's a transition. It's something that, like, you don't really know what it's gonna be like until you go. So I definitely have to say this one, stay true to yourself and make sure that as you discover more about yourself, you really make sure that everything about you is really you. Because definitely freshman year is just like that year where it's either gonna be yes or it's gonna be no. So it's up to you. Make sure you don't fall for the crowd and do what everybody else does just because they're doing it, and you have this like freedom that you can do whatever you want with now. Make sure you still stay true to yourself, and you still like ask yourself, is this who you are? Do you feel comfortable in this situation? Is this, you know, where you want to be in this point of time? Because I've just been in so many situations where I agreed to go somewhere or I agreed to do something, and then I'm in that situation and I absolutely hate it and I want to go home like immediately. That's happened more times than I can count. But it's taken me like really knowing who I am, knowing what people I like to be around, crowds I like to be around, the environments I like to be around. I'm not like a party girl. I don't really like to be in these party places. I'm more of like, you know, a kickback, a vibe kind of girl, you know? So it's important to know yourself, because my whole, you know, figuring myself out, which obviously you never stop figuring yourself out and learning more about yourself. So yeah, don't expect that to ever stop. But during that whole time in freshman year when it was just such a change, I would find myself in these situations that, girl, what are you doing here? This is not who you are. Go home. Okay. There is definitely someone for everyone. I do believe you can go to college and make very special connections and friendships, but you have to be yourself to attract people who are like you too, you know? If you're just faking it around campus and, you know, every way you act is not really how you are, you're not really gonna attract people who like you for who you are. They're gonna like you for who you're pretending to be, which don't do. And like, who wants to hold up with this fake personality that you created freshman year all the way to senior year? Like, no girl, just be yourself. Just be yourself authentically and unapologetically. Don't overthink it. I know like so many of us have just terrible anxiety and we overthink every situation before we even step foot into it. So don't overthink it. It's not even that hard. You are not the only freshman walking around campus, and you're gonna figure it out. Even if you look stupid the first few days, nobody knows you look stupid. Only you think you look stupid and you don't even look stupid. Exactly. Also, oh my gosh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Do not feel so pressured about your major in the like first few weeks of college, even the first few years of college, girl. Don't be so pressured about what that major is, because you can change your major, and it is gonna take some discovering and going through a few of these classes to realize maybe this isn't what I wanted. My major when I first started college was business, and I was just gonna get a business degree, but I don't really like business as much as I like film and TV production. Like, that is way more my niche. It's way more creative. I feel like it's much more, you know, it aligns more with who I am. So obviously I switched my major, and now I'm having a much better experience in college. All my classes aren't boring and they don't all feel useless. So this is gonna take some time. You might, you know, go through a few different majors, but don't worry. Me and my sister both switched our majors halfway through college, and yes, this has the potential to cost you your graduation date. Throw that out the window. I think that is, you know, not as important. You know, you're here in college, you made the decision to go to college and to continue your schooling, so shout out to you. You don't have to rush, so you can actually chill now and go at your own pace. Like, we don't all have to go at the same time and graduate at the same time, and I don't actually know when I'll graduate, but I don't care, because I'm gonna graduate. Trust me, you'll be much more satisfied in the long run if you follow your heart, follow, you know, what you're passionate about, and just don't be afraid. Don't be caught up in a major because, oh, you've already done freshman year, you've already been in it for this amount of time, and if you change your major now, you have to go back and take these classes. Go do it if that's what your heart wants you to do, girl, because it's really not all about what, you know, when you graduate or what year you get done with school, but it's more about, you know, finding what it is you want to do potentially with the rest of your life. I don't know how we're supposed to figure that out in the first year of college. Rather than studying a degree that you don't really care about and that you're taking, you know, hours and hours of time out of your day to study for and to do homework for that you don't even care about, just follow your heart. And if you don't quite know where you want, maybe consider taking a gap year, because I considered taking a gap year and I didn't, and maybe I should have, but I'm here where I am now, so this is just my advice to you. Okay, now time for one of the hardest tips for me personally, and that is having a study routine, like a set in stone. I study on this day because I've seen that most of my homework is gonna be due on this day, so this is my study day, and I'm gonna hold that for the rest of the school year. Like, that never happens for me, girl, because somebody always wanna do something. I always wanna go somewhere, or a good YouTuber just dropped a good video. You just have to turn it off for a second and do your homework. I promise everything will still be there once your homework is done, and once you know, got some study time in. That YouTube video will still be there, your friends will still be there, but that due date might not still be there. Make sure whatever time you choose to study and get your homework done works for you. If you're a morning person, maybe getting up really early and just knocking that out in the morning, and then, you know, working out and being that girl, maybe that's more your speed. I'm definitely more of a nighttime homework person. I'm a nighttime person in general, so I would much rather do my homework towards the evening. Maybe around sunset, I like to get all my homework done, and then I have the rest of the night to myself to just chill and do whatever I please. If only I could just stick to that instead of just going to sleep and waking up the next morning like, oh shoot, teacher, can I get an extension? And you guys, if going to the library to get work done helps you and it's, you know, a better environment for you to get homework done, and it's somewhere you can go and consistently go for a certain amount of time or a certain day out of the week, go and utilize that. Utilize the facilities on campus, okay? Because I don't do that very much, and every time I go and do it, I'm like, why don't I be in here doing my homework? You know, the whole library is here this whole time and I could have been here. So don't be afraid. Those places on campus are literally there for you to go use them. I'm sure the campus that you're on is so nice and so beautiful, and you actually have like places to go be. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Go to class, okay? College, okay, they're just gonna mark you absent. If you fail due to absence, that's on you, okay? They don't care. They're just gonna take your money again when you have to re-enroll for the class next semester, okay? Trust me, no one, they're not looking out for you like that, okay? I have always, you know, been a little lazy on going to class, and I always use up my skips in the beginning of the school year or the semester because, you know, you get a certain amount of skips before you fail the class. So I always tend to use those up in the first half of the semester rather than really, you know, using it when I need it or when I'm actually sick or when I'm actually needing a mental health day. I just be like, nah, it's too early, nah. Then I just end up falling behind for literally no reason. So yeah, it's definitely important. Take your mental health day whenever you need to, but go to class still, okay? Balance is everything. Your mom's not gonna be there to call you and be like, hey, you have to use class. Like my mom definitely did that, and it was annoying, but I wish I wasn't because I didn't go to so many classes, and she'd be like, are you in class? And I'm like, no. Also, your professor is not gonna know who you are, and they're not gonna take you seriously in the slightest if you've missed basically every class period and then you come asking for help or an extension or, oh, you missed something. They're gonna be like, girl, you missed everything. You're never in my class. Like, they're not gonna take you seriously. So go to class and make a connection with your professor. Like, I'm not saying play teacher's pet and be all up on their hiney and stuff, but make a connection. Make it obvious that you are a student coming here to learn and you actually value their time and their efforts in teaching you something. College students are disrespectful. They act like, you know, they don't really care about what the teacher has to say, and I feel like the teacher is definitely a human being. Like, they definitely have feelings. So every time I have a new class, I always just try and look studious, even if I seriously don't want to be there. I just pay attention, or I just act like I'm taking some notes, even though I might not be. But attendance, be in attendance, and let your teacher, you know, get to know your teacher. Don't just be somebody who sits in the back of the class and never speaks, because that is who I am. Don't be somebody who sits in the back of the class and just doesn't say anything ever. Like, sometimes say something or get to know your professor, because when you do need to ask them for something or you need help with anything, they'll know who you are, and they'll probably be more willing to help you if they've seen that you actually give a crap about their class. Because as a freshman, you will go through so many classes that are just boring and not related to your degree. Also, take notes. If you're not that good of a note taker, like if the teacher talks too fast, maybe just get your phone and do a voice memo and just record the lecture. My phone is full of pictures of my teacher's notes that they have on the board. Sometimes your teachers might be really chill and they don't mind you taking your phone out and snapping a picture. I don't know how that's gonna work in high school. That didn't really work for me in high school. But in college, I just take out my phone and just take a picture, and then I can copy those notes later, take the notes, because if you don't have a buddy in that class to be like, hey, can I get the notes from? It's up to you, because one, your professor might not give it to you, because I definitely had a stingy professor that said he will never give us a copy of the notes. Like, it was just up to us to get them, and we couldn't take pictures. He wouldn't let us take a picture, and we couldn't like record audio. Oh, also, if you can make a little buddy in the class, just say, hey, what's your name? Do you mind if we exchange numbers? I don't know anybody in this class, and just in case I'm not here or you're not here, you know, we can just, yeah, make sure you establish one of those in your classes. Luckily, I go to a very small school, so it's always somebody in my class that I know or can reach out to if I ever need to. But I do have a class that I'm taking now that I don't know anybody in, and on that first day of school, this girl came up to me and we exchanged numbers, and I was actually very grateful for that because I was able to text her the next week and be like, hey girl, I'm at class but nobody else is here. And turns out the teacher changed the location of the class, which happens all the freaking time at my school. I'm not even lying. Like, I will go to class and it'll be canceled, or I'll go and it'll be another location. It's always something. So make sure you just make a friend in every class, just somebody you can always just hit up and be like, hey, I was unsure about this. If you guys want to have a successful school year, you have to go out there and, you know, offer your presence to other people. So join clubs and go meet people. I didn't do this my freshman year, and I really wish I had been a little bit more social. College will definitely give you a burnout. You will feel burnt out and like a failure if you don't, you know, maintain, and that just happens. Okay, it happened to me. I'm just speaking for myself. Like, this might not happen to you. You might be like a academic genius, but I definitely wasn't that. I definitely had to apply myself like 10 times more than your average human because I don't know where my head is half the time. But if you do find yourself, you know, getting to those moments of being burnt out, it can help just having a kind of outlet or a release, somewhere you can go and just let it out, like cheer or a sport or a club, somewhere you can go and not have to worry about, oh, this is all academic and this is due and this is due. You can just go be yourself. Every college has like organizations and teams you can join. It's just a matter of, you know, going and discovering those for yourself, because not every college does a good job of letting you know that these organizations and these clubs actually do exist. Or if, you know, you're feeling spontaneous, go start your own club. Like, there's so many clubs that you could probably think of and go start all by yourself. It's also just a great way to meet new people and make good connections, because these college connections that you're making will probably be your most important connections and your like last school connections before you go out into the real world, and it's just a whole different ballgame. And don't forget to ask for help if you need it. Don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? Every college has advisors. There are people that are literally put in place to be there to help you. So take advantage of this. Go and get the help you need. If you need extra time from your teachers or anybody, it never hurts to just ask. Like, yeah, they might be like, no, the due date is the due date, but you can still ask and be like, hey, have some, you know, academic riz, and just ask for an extension. Ask for help. Like, just don't sit and not say anything like me, and then you're behind and you could have just asked, and then come to find out your teacher was chill this whole time and they give you this massive extension that you could have been had. Like, just go ask. This also goes for if you're lost or if you're unsure of a destination or a building or wherever your class is. Just ask someone. Literally, I be walking around like, is this the and there's so many people I could just, you know, be like, hey, are you in so-and-so's class? Is this the right class? And it's because I'm always in my head thinking, ooh, I'm anxious, ooh. They don't care. Nobody cares. Everybody else is thinking that same thing in their own head, trying to find their own class. So maybe just say, hey, can I get some help? Don't forget to take breaks while you're doing these big crunch time midterm studying or final exam studying. Take breaks. Don't just study forever and never take a break. But at the same time, when you take those breaks, don't get stuck on TikTok like me, because that just happens, you know? Don't get on TikTok and just scroll for the next 5 hours. So make sure you have screen time set up if you need to, you know, put screen time on your phone. I have that on my phone, and a lot of people are like, why do you have screen time? It's because I will scroll all day and I will not stop until that screen time notification pops up. So yeah, I limit myself to like 1 hour of TikTok every day, and that's it, surprisingly. But every now and then I'll just like type the code in and unlock it. But that's not the point. Use the screen time option on your iPhone, take breaks, but don't forget to jump back into the studying when it's time. When it comes to college and 24/7 having something due, or having something that you have to work on because it's about to be due, that can really take a toll on not only your mental health, but your physical health and your self-care and how you treat yourself and the time and effort that you put into your well-being. College tries to ask for every bit of time you ever had, but you gotta know college, I gotta wash my face. College can just bring up a lot of work, a lot of stress. It can make you get these random breakouts all over your face and you're like, what the heck? My skin was just clear and now it's not, and it's because you're stressed. Also, don't forget to eat, because I know some people go to college and they just don't have an appetite because it's their first time like away from home. That definitely happened to me. Also, college food is not always the best depending on where you go to college. So prioritize your nutrition as well. Like, don't forget to eat your food. And my very last tip, and my most important tip, one that I wish I would have just maybe told myself a few more times throughout my academic experience, even though I'm literally not done. But allow room for you to make mistakes. It's gonna happen. You'll miss a due date that was very important. Or halfway through school year, you'll just miss a court date because you're in college and like you forgot. And that will feel like the end of the world for like a few seconds, and you might cry and have a little breakdown, but it's okay. So if you find yourself in a position where you've made a mistake, just see how you can be a better person. Don't like dwell on that or like make yourself out to be this bad guy. You're like, oh, why did I ever do that? Just be like, okay, oops, I'll do better. My bad. You're all just here on this earth experiencing it all for the first time, okay? Have some sympathy for yourself because college is just, it can be hard, so. Anyways, that's all for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I really hope you guys have the best first year or second or third or fourth year or fifth or whatever. I hope you have the best school year of your entire life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that post notification bell and hit that subscribe button. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.